أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وننزل من القرآن ما هو شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين ولا يزيد الظالمين إلا خسارا. Welcome everyone to Ruqyah Healing, where holistic well-being meets spiritual guidance. I am thrilled to share with our journey, providing transformative solutions to the challenges faced by our community. So let's embark on this journey together. Every Sunday, the Quran, which is from Surah Isra, Surah number 17, ayat number 82, where Allah had said to us, وَنُنَزِّلَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ, we have sent down the Quran as a healing and mercy for the believers. وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا, but it will only increase the wrongdoers in loss. Ruqyah Healing was founded in the year 2020 with a passionate commitment to making Ruqyah therapy easily accessible worldwide through our online platform. Alhamdulillah, since our inception, we have been dedicated to providing effective solutions as evidenced by the numerous testimonials from hundreds of individuals, all by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our focus lies in offering Ruqyah treatments for ain, hasad, black magic, and jinn affliction, strictly adhering to the principles free from shirk. We ensure clarity and simplicity in our procedures, providing them in written form to facilitate understanding for all. Recognizing the recurring challenges faced by our community, we are committed to continuously enhancing our services for the betterment of the Ummah bi-iznillahi ta'ala. In our pursuit of this goal, we embarked on a journey to learn about cognitive behavioral therapy, a profound approach that has significantly aided in dispelling waswas, that is negative thoughts, addressing traumas, and alleviating depressions, all through the divine guidance of Allah Azza wa Jal. As integral members of our community, we have observed through the years that we have spent in this field, the first-hand struggles that many couples endure due to the influence of jinn and shayateen, resulting in discord, misunderstandings, and disrupted peace within our households. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had warned us about this in the glorious Quran in Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2, as Allah said, فَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِهِ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ وَمَا هُمْ بِضَارِّينَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. And yet, people learned magic that caused a rift even between husband and wife, although their magic could not harm anyone except by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We identified a critical gap in addressing these issues, and we recognized that Ruqyah, coupled with marriage counseling, transformative outcomes. Alhamdulillah, we have unified these essential services under one platform at Ruqyah Healing. Here, Ruqyah therapists, counselors, and marriage counselors collaborate together to provide comprehensive support to our community. Through this intersection of knowledge and action, we strive to bridge the gaps and offer holistic solutions for fostering harmony and well-being within our community. Moreover, all of our testimonials are recorded and can be viewed at our YouTube channel, providing transparent access to the experiences and successes shared by those who have benefited from our service. Without taking more longer, I would like to I would like to give this platform to Brother Abdul Mujib, who is heading the marriage consular department, and I would like him to take this opportunity to kindly introduce us about marriage counseling. Bismillah ta'ala. Brother Abdul Mujib, you're muted. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And my name is Abdul Mujib, and I am the counselor who takes care of family affairs and people who really don't know how to work out their marriage. I'm a counselor, and I have learned many skills over the years. It's not something that I started yesterday. So it's like a lot of, lot of information and lot of learning from people, from coaching, big coaches, taking that, courses for 6 months, and almost it took 2 years to understand what really marriage is all about. See, our mission at Ruqyah Healing is it's to save marriages. It's very strange that despite the immense pain and suffering that it causes for those who go through these situations in their marriage, the world now accepts divorce to be just a normal thing, just a normal thing as marriage. But we at Ruqyah Healing refuse to accept divorce as normal at all. We think of divorce as abnormal and which disrupts society. We classify divorce along with unhappy marriages as society's #1 disease, destroying millions of innocent lives. And this goes simultaneously with Ruqyah therapists, the twins that we have, because many of our cases, as Brother Abdul Wahab had explained in the surah, in the ayah, that the #1 goal of our enemy is to make a husband and wives separate. And that's their goal. And even you see the society and everyone pushes people to divorce, saying that's the easy way out. No, there are other easy way out. The problem is we never understood marriage. However, when we discovered that for individuals who are determined to keep their family together by getting the education that they need and making that effort, it proves to be the best choice that they have ever made. Because as I told you, we have never been taught how to get married. That's the #1 problem. We just got married because we had to get married. It's a mechanism. Even I didn't know unless I went through the courses and stuff, because I had issues in my life. That's how I became a counselor. We know that people succeed when they have the right knowledge and determination, and we want to help you. The ideas, the processes, the methods, the education that we teach are all natural, biological, and mental laws. It's easy to understand, it's not rocket science, but there are many things that we don't do to create this bond. And, we should set our selfishness aside, and then we will realize how rewarding is it to be married. We teach, and you discover for yourself what marriage is meant to be. We want you to have the best marriage ever, and that's why we are here. But these jinn shayateen, and we did not learn how to get married, that's why we are in problems. See, the will and intention without wisdom will not work. You have the will, you have the intention, but without knowledge and wisdom how the marriage life works, it doesn't work. And that's what I emphasize on. we are never taught married how to get married. And why do you think people get married? People get married because they want happiness. Marriage is happiness. See, problem is that we don't value our spouse anymore. Remember that the first days when you guys got married, you would take care of each other, spend time with each other, talk more to each other, and laugh at silly jokes. And as time passed by, you started to get used to your spouse. And now you start to criticize, you start to complain, you start to condemn about your spouse to other people. And that's what killed your marriage. And now your marriage starts to fall, and you have to get your married life back. So, and I'm sure that you have promised your spouse when you were getting married, or when talking to them, it's like that you would live forever, love and live with each other forever. That's the promise that you made. But as time passed by, or familiarity went through, creeped up inside, and everything became normal. So if your marriage is in serious trouble, you must take marriage counseling sessions and also check yourself with Ruqyah spiritual illness, because they both work together. Because there is not, if I teach you about marriage, but there is symptoms of, because as I told you, that the jinn and shayateens want separation. That's where Ruqyah comes in. There are some unexplained things that you get irritated, you have mental breakdown, you have this waswas and stuff. That's where we teach you how to be. First, we check you for spiritual illness. We teach you how, to get married, because we are never taught how to get married. Seriously, we are never taught how to get married, clearly. And then we have this mind control that we teach, so that waswas and your emotions don't come up. Okay, we train you in things that your marriage will become the most beautiful, thing in your life. Because marriage is different venue. It's a unique venue. It's like you go in a masjid, okay, uh, and you are in front. How do you go to the masjid? You are respectful, okay, you're humble, okay. Even if you see little dirt somewhere on the holy book, you try to, wipe it off with your clothes. That's how you should react to marriage, because it's a different venue. If you go to a pharmacist, the venue is different. There you talk to him about your pharmaceutical or your needs of, tablets or something, medicine. If you go to the supermarket, the venue is different. So marriage is a very unique and different venue, and should not get mixed up with other venues. As I told you, it's a unique venue that Allah had, created you to be with that person. We teach you the do's and don'ts of marriage, the things which kill your marriage, and what pushes and pulls your wife, pushes your wife away or pushes your husband away. We teach all of this. See, you must get back into your heart, start opening your heart for your spouse, be forgiving. You don't have to say something when your spouse does something wrong. You don't have to. Okay, and we just have to let it go, like you used to be when you were before, when you were newly married. You would smile on your spouse and, ignore the situation. But now every small thing has become a big issue. It's because of your uneducation of marriage, and it's also related to spiritual things. You should appreciate your spouse. We don't appreciate our spouse. You know, we don't appreciate our husbands who's working hard outside. When was the last time that you said, "Oh, thank you for providing us these things"? And when did you tell your wife, "Oh, you made you made the home look clean, but we start criticizing our spouse and we turn against with each other. And that affects our kids because kids learn from us. And our society is, we have seen a big increase in, husband and wife fighting on simple and, you know, small issues. When you can ignore it, you can forgive. There are many spouse who are keeping things in their heart for years and years and not letting it go. That's where we introduce the cognitive behavior therapy, where it really helps everyone to get out of these situations. We got amazing tools for you guys. We have things which will really turn your marriage. And you know that marriage is the most important venue that you have. It's a blessing. See, this all happens because we just got married because our parents want us to get married, pushed us to get married, or the society wanted to us to get married, or hey, you say, hey, it's my age to get married. And if I don't get married this age, no one will ask me for marriage. Yeah, this is, and we think marriage is like a ride in the Disneyland, or I call it the La La Land, where you can do anything you want. No, it's a mechanism. It's all lack of knowledge that we have about marriage. And once we learn them, inshallah, okay, things will turn. It will turn your marriage around. We have seen many people and we have taught many people techniques about how to control your mind, how to react to your husband or wife. In many situations, we teach everything. You will fall in love again and you will have an amazing marriage life, inshallah. So never give up, inshallah, and things will actually help us.
Jazakallahu khairan, Brother Abdul Majid, for giving the most important points. And to be honest, as they say, marriage is a mystery and the mystery never ends. Subhanallah. And now, as this is a panel discussion, and I would like to just remind every one of you that there will be question and answer session bi'iznillahi ta'ala once our next Ruqyah therapist, Brother Abdul Samad, he takes the platform and he asks us, he lets us to know more about cognitive behavior therapy. So Abdul Samad, can you just let us know why was cognitive behavior therapy introduced along with Ruqyah therapy?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to talk about this very important subject. And we have found this very interesting that while doing Ruqyah, it's one of the most important aspects to understand is that when we are doing this therapy, we are dealing with human beings, and a human being has a lot of requirements in order to feel better, to feel good, and to recover from the issues of spiritual ailments as well. So we have found cognitive behavior therapy quite very important in order to treat people where they have traumas and anxiety and depression, because a lot of these issues, they are a reflection from the traumas. And when we talk about traumas, and in order to align in with today's topic, the most important aspect to look at it is the traumas that takes place between husband and wife. And when we are dealing with the traumas, there are a lot of reasons why traumas takes place. And one of the most important understanding that we are going to talk and have a panel discussion is the traumas due to the lack of emotion, the traumas due to the emotionless life that we are living today. We are more living a mechanical life. And that is the point where a lot of enmity comes up, and there are a lot of problems that takes place between either of the spouse. It's because of the lack of understanding on the aspects of emotions, that every human being has different requirements of emotions. Now, when that is not being dealt, then that would be treated through cognitive behavior therapy. And cognitive behavior therapy is a therapy where we help people to resolve a particular issue where a wrong concept has been built over time. Like, for example, there would be issues between the husband and wife on a wrong perception, wrong perspectives being built over time because of lack of communication or lack of taking care on the basis of emotions. When that takes place, then there would be an aspect where we would make a person understand through real scenarios of life. So we would take a person through the real scenarios of life, how things would actually be if you would take the things in viewpoint on others' perspective. And perhaps there could be the wrong aspects being built over time because of a lack of fulfillment on an emotional aspect. So that is the point where cognitive behavioral therapy comes into being, where counseling is being provided along with that therapy in order to remove that trauma by understanding how did that trauma actually take place in a person's life. And let's move ahead, Bismillah ta'ala, with respect to the panel discussion. And subhanAllah, I would say this is a historical event where the Raqis and the marriage counselor have come together in order to discuss how Ruqya and cognitive behavior therapy and the counseling is very important to work together in order to heal the people. Because as I said, we are dealing with human beings, and a human being has a lot of requirements. And in order to benefit on the spiritual aspects, we have found that marriage counseling does a very important job. Because the first thing as being understood is that the jinn and the shayateen would attack the husband and wife. They don't want the spouse to live a happy life. So what would be the first thing that they are going to work on is emotions, because we know that today emotions is one of the most important factors that are affecting a large number of people today, and it's also destroying the lives between the spouses. So let us go forward and have a panel discussion on this very topic. Abdul Majid, can you just elaborate? I would be talking about this very aspect when it comes to the lack of emotions being dealt. How do you look onto that very aspect, where the first thing that I would like to put a question across, that when you deal with the couples, how do you look at emotions? How important is it? And what are the problems that when it comes to emotions that are actually making rifts between the couples?
The problem with emotions is that I'm not taking sides, but it's like psychologically, women are more emotional than men. Yes, men are emotional, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave emotions to women because they have to take care of kids. See, woman is all about love. Woman is love. Woman is heart. She's the heart of the family. So if the child gets, is having an issue and he wants a hug, he will run to mother. If the husband wants to, seek love, where does he find it? He finds it with a woman. So woman is heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why said that he loves his love is more than 70,000 mothers, right? So it's like that's why it's like once we know scientifically, we know that women are more emotionally connected to the heart more than men. Now, the problem with emotions with people are that they think it comes from the heart. But it doesn't come from the heart, it comes from here. Emotions are all packed up and backed up by jinns who puts waswas and derail you from your goal. Because from your heart, you love your husband, okay, and you would do anything for him. But when it goes here in our brain, which we should think it as a machine, it corrupts you by waswas of shayateen and jinn and our brain. We should know that our brain, we should not recognize ourselves as our brain, because we are not the brain. We are not the heart. The problem is with the brain is that it is always attacked by jinn and shayateen, and it has emotions which your subconscious mind pushes you and drives you, to think vice versa. So this is like a brain which, is always corrupt if you're not in control. And that's what I also teach as my particular subject, about how the brain works and how should we be in control of our mind. Because if you're not in control of your mind, everything is in chaos. So emotions, as you asked me, is all up here. This is where emotions are. It's never from your heart. It's from here. See, men are very less connected to our heart. So if a woman complains that, oh, my man is not emotional, that's wrong, because he's not built for that. That's why in my, marriage, counseling and stuff, I teach people, who are you as a man? Who are you as a woman? Because we are two different creatures. Women are built differently, men are built differently. So once it's emotions, the emotions gets corrupted because it's always under attack by your thoughts and jinn shayateen, and that's where chaos becomes. So you are not in master of the mind. The mind has become the slave, okay, and the body has become the master. So emotions should be trained by, as you told me, cognitive behavior therapy, which is very, very important, because the brain does not know about reality and the fake world that you create in your mind. Because what you put in your mind, the brain reacts. If you think today is Yom Al Qiyamah, the brain will put that fear in your mind and your body that it's Yom Al Qiyamah. So emotions are a package where you have to get in control with. And there are techniques that I teach, and I can say for sure, this is the only technique that works, really. I cannot say, because I tried many counseling therapies. First of all, I tried a lot of Muslim counselor. They usually put you into this, what do you call, sulah, sacrifice yourself for someone. No, I was in that situation. Sadly, there are very less counselors. I'm not promoting myself or something, but it's reality. When I had issues in my life, I searched for people, and I had to travel for long distances just to meet a counselor. It was very tough, subhanallah, because of you guys' determination, and it's like me joining your team. Subhanallah, we are doing amazing, and we have all the products, everything in place. Alhamdulillah.
Brother
Like,
Guruji, I would just want to ask you one important question, since we're talking about emotions here, and we have also come across Ruqyah cases where emotions, if they are not being dealt with properly, the Ruqyah issues tend to linger for a very longer time. So I'm sure with respect to marriages, this is a very, very important aspect that we are discussing over here. And sure, all the participants can ask questions on this as we move forward, inshallah. So my point would be that if one spouse is not able to understand others' emotion, right? If a husband is not able to understand the emotions of a wife and vice versa, how can they come to this point? How can they come to this point to actually understand? Because a lot of men may not be able to, or may not want to be emotional at times. Like they don't want to feel that emotion from their wife stance. So how can we bridge that gap?
first thing we should know, as I told you, it's like if you buy a washing machine, okay, you should know how it works. Once you know how the washing machine, how it works, you can play around with the washing machine, right? You can know what settings to do and what's the nature of a washing machine. If you ask a washing machine to wash dishes, it won't wash dishes. Its aim is to wash clothes. So once you understand what is a man, what's the responsibility of a man, and what's the responsibility of a wife, once this is understood, things becomes very easy in life. Then you will not say that, oh, I put dishes in the washing machine, but it didn't wash dishes, because the washing machine is not designed to wash dishes. Now, taking care of kids, no one on earth can take this responsibility except a woman, a mother. We men cannot take care of our kids. That's reality. That's how Allah created. We cannot complain about it, right? Because we are built like that. We don't have emotions to be, take care of the kid and grow him as he or she should be. So different roles, once everyone knows the roles of each person, and then sit down, relax with a calm mind, and then discuss things together, because there is a big gap of communication between a man and a woman. The woman thinks a man knows it all. The man knows that the woman knows it all. It doesn't work like that. And that's where shaitan, it opens the door for depression. Oh, my wife is really not interested in me. Oh, my husband doesn't give time to me. Of course, guys can sit down and talk to each other, without any gap. Communication is a big lack in marriage. And this is where shayateen and jinn takes the opportunities to, attack. Now, the problem is most women keep things in their heart, and most men keep things in their heart. They don't open up, and then they have a big failure of marriage.
True.
And then they complain it to their sisters or mother, which they should not do that.
Yes, this is the
Marriage-
point that I wanted to also have in our most important discussion is that what is the best way how a husband and wife can resolve their issues? Because a lot of times it happens that when there is unresolved conflicts between the husband and wife because of the issue of emotions not being not being addressed properly, either because of either of the spouse, then in order to resolve these issues, a lot of times it takes place that the relatives would come up and they would start to sit down and try to talk about the issues. But you think this would be the way in order that the problem would be resolved? Because a lot of times I have, a lot of couples have said that they have been to the marriage counselor, but the way that things have been taken place is that the people start asking questions. What are the problems that the husband is facing because of the wife, and what is the woman facing because of the husband? And they take both of their opinions and then they start telling either of them that what they should be doing. Do you think this is the right way in order to resolve the issue, or it will have a negative impact on either of them?
Well, practically, the reason why I became a counselor, because I was into issues myself, and I discussed it with my mother, I discussed it with my father, I discussed with my brother or sister. Most of them were partial, and the world is like that. You cannot blame anyone, and everyone gives you a decision or a comment based on what they think, because they are emotionally attached to someone. Someone is emotionally attached to me, someone is emotionally attached to her. So they would give you, oh, do this or do that. No, things don't work like that. The problem is that this is the biggest mistake, and we expose our inside world of marriage, which should have been secret. We expose it to the world. And that is a big no-no. I don't blame people, because people get emotional, okay? And even I got emotional and I wanted my things to be solved. A counselor is an amazing platform, a good counselor, because most counselor will give you sulah or ask you, get rid of this problem, go get a divorce. Okay, they don't teach you or else they will teach you rules of Islam, okay, or Christianity, and make you, you have to, you know, bardash, you have to do this to make your life. No, you don't have to. Really, it's all about marriage is a mechanism. It's a mechanism which has to be learned. If you don't learn this, your marriage will always be, having issues. Plus, Ruqyah also plays a huge part, because the waswas continues the person, a man or a woman, on the brink of suicide, on the brink of, fights, on the brink of, hating each other, and creating an atmosphere in your house. Even the house are affected, some of them. So it's a big thing that you have to look from each angle. Now, a single person like me, if I tell people that, a marriage counselor is the only solution, no. Ruqyah should also be touched. You also have to get out your past trauma, because jinn and shayateen plays with them. So a counselor is a platform where we are neutral. We don't judge you. We don't know you. We keep your secrets. We keep it confidential, however it may be. And we give you the best solutions. Okay. We show you techniques. Solutions is you who create, but we show you the way, we show you the mechanism, we show you the do's and don'ts, which will really change your life and marriage. Because
But
as I told you, a marriage is a different venue. It's not none like any other. It's
indeed.
something special.
I have one important point over here. In marriages, a lot of times, like what you have said about waswas. So I would put this question to Brother Abdul Samad. Have you ever come across any cases where, because of waswas, negative thoughts from the jinn and the shayateen, made the couples to believe otherwise about each other? Can you please let us know?
Yeah, it's a very important subject with respect to waswas, and we have found that to be true. Waswas had been, that is one of the most important tool in order to create a difference between the husband and wife, and that starts through waswas. And the waswas can start because of a lot of reasons, either because of, subhanallah, there are a lot of couples who have been living very nice, but all of a sudden, then the breakdown started coming in. It's because that they have been afflicted with ayn and hasad. And if you look at how this mechanism works, that the jinn and the shayateen, they start giving the waswas. That is one of their greatest tool in order to start having enmity between the husband and wife. And we have been taught and told, and the very famous hadith, that the shaitan would be very happy if there is enmity, and that the husband and wife would be separated. That is one of the greatest achievement of the shaitan. Subhanallah, we have been told that the shaitan is adu, he's an open enemy to us, but we don't realize it until being hit, until we go through that difficult process. SubhanAllah, there have been a lot of times where also because of the affliction of the jinn and shayateen or the black magic, a lot of couples, they complain that they have a very small topic that they discuss, but it turns up wild, it turns up into enmity, and they don't know why that's happening. And the biggest tool to work through that is through waswas. And waswas does not just mean that it's whisper from the jinn and the shayateen. They are so expertise on that they also create an emotional feeling into the heart, and they give at the emotion of an anxiety, they give the emotion of being angry, they give and they bring about those traumatic events in either of the spouse, and they just start having a bad time, and then they disrupt into a big fight. Unknowing that they were having a very good time, perhaps they were having a cup of tea together, or they were having an ice cream, perhaps. And subhanallah. So just a few minutes ago, they were doing good, and after just a few minutes, they are fighting, and they have a great enmity against themselves. So the waswas is the greatest tool for how the jinn and the shayateen, they attack they attack the couples. So yes, waswas plays a very important role in putting wrong aspects among the couples.
I would also add, would like to add something. It's like, see, the first thought is not yours. It's not yours, but something pushes you to go to that thought, and it creates havoc in the brain, in the mind. So the mind loves this entertainment and, of this, and the shaitan jinn knows that. They know how our body works. So once someone knows how to control their mind, okay, through techniques that we teach, it's like that's when these waswas and stuff can be get controlled. It's all about knowledge. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did create them, and they are our enemies, but once you know the tactics of our enemies, and through science and technology that we have today, we can fight all these things with Ruqyah, and inshallah with great knowledge of how the mind works and mind control. And it's a battle of heart and mind, that this thing.
Yes, yes, indeed. SubhanAllah. I would like to request our participants to kindly write down your questions on the chat so that we can answer them. Meanwhile, we continue with our interesting discussion on this very topic.
I want to put this forward. So, as a marriage counselor and as a cognitive behavior therapist, with Ruqyah, when we understood that along with the Ruqyah problems, a lot of marriage is getting disturbed. A lot of families, a lot of children are getting a lot of problems, and subhanallah, because Ruqyah is a platform where a lot of people come in contact. For example, any business loss, they come to us. When there are problems between the husband and a wife, they come to us. And which is a good thing, which is a beneficial thing, to first-hand check anything to do with payments. Now, I want to know one important thing. This question is for both of you. As a marriage counselor and cognitive perspective, how strong do you think Ruqyah is important in these? Because a lot of times we find in our community that Ruqyah is not part of a marriage counselor, and from the part of a therapist side or a cognitive behavior therapy or psychology, Ruqyah is not the part that is being considered by a lot of people today. So how do you see Ruqyah being intertwined with all of these facilities that you're dealing with?
Okay, so I'll start with the aspect of Ruqyah first. The most important aspect is the root cause of these issues, as we know from the Quran and Sunnah, that the shayateen are actually working against the husband and wife, because they build a community, and a strong community would make the Muslim Ummah strong, and that would actually make Islam strong. So they don't want the basic foundation. They don't want the foundation of the human beings, of the Muslim Ummah, to be strong. And that is where they are fighting against the couples first. That is their target. And that's one of the most important targets for them, that they would like to have. They would like to prey upon the husband and wife on their differences. And the most important aspect is to ward off the jinn and the shayateen, and to give that level of protection to them. And as I have mentioned to you, that they get afflicted because of a lot of reasons. They get afflicted because of the ayn and hasad, because they were doing well. They were very good to each other. So a lot of people can give ayn on the couples. There are a lot of people who have said that they were doing very good, but then their relation started to have an effect, and that was because of the ayn and hasad. The next most important aspect is that a lot of people would do sihr, would do black magic upon the couple, so that there would be enmity between them. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that their first attack through the black magic is again the separation between the husband and wife, and they do this out of enmity. So Jinn possession, again, it can be also one of the most important problem, that the jinn possession, because if either the female jinn is attracted to a male human being, or a male jinn is attracted to a female human being, and that is where they want to actually take away the person from their spouse. So these are the three scenarios where the couple would get afflicted with the issues of ruqya, and that is one of the most important aspects to consider in order to remove those issues, give the protection against the jinn and the shayateen, and then it would be much easier to resolve this issue. The thing is that once done the ruqya, the past traumas has to be removed, has to be corrected through the cognitive behavior therapy. And the issues between the husband and wife has to be resolved through marriage counseling, because if that is not being resolved and they have resentment against each other, then that will still continue. The cause have been removed, but the problem for which the jinn and the shayateen did their best is still continuing. So we have to now take care of this issue through the marriage counseling.
So, Brother Abdul, can you just give us your inputs?
Yes, the issue with people today these days is that they follow their emotions. As I discussed before, emotions are all which is happening up there. So it's like it's a continuous battle that people are fighting with, So it's once, and I repeat myself many times, it's like, if you don't know how your mind works, you will always be attacked by jinn and shayateen, because you don't know how your mind works, you don't know how your brain works, you don't know what powerful things that you have as a capability as a human being. Because remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you are the best of creation. There's a reason why he said that. Because we humans, we have the capability to evaluate. We should evaluate things, put things into, if I do this, what result will I get? If I get married, what is the life that I'm going to live? If I have kids, what is the life with what I'm going to have with my kids? Am I ready for this or not? And not be spontaneous. Oh, I just want to get married. I get married. It's as I tell you and everyone, it's like it's a mechanism. It's not like a La La Land or a Disneyland that you go inside and you take any ride that you want. It doesn't work like that. Because you have to understand emotions, you have to understand how the mind works, you have to remove, as you said, things from the past, because they will haunt you. The jinn and shayateen will take that part of your, sadness. And once you're sad, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, I think, it's like, do not be depressed. Once you get depressed, it opens the door to jinn and shayateen, and they rush in your blood, and that's where the attack happens. And 90% of the cases are all emotional different. Am I right or wrong in jinn afflictions and stuff? There are
There's
very few
one
cases.
important question coming up. I'm sorry, there's very, very important question. And I think this must be from a nutritionist. The question is like, the scientists have recently said that our gut is our brain. And
Exactly.
when we are talking about emotions, this is a very valid question to ask. She is asking that when the gut has problems, because we are not usually, especially the Asian side, we are not really much worried about our health until the doctor tells us to do something. And our health deteriorates over the time. So most of the women and men at home and at the workforce are having bad guts. So does that affect our emotions and our thought process? This would be a very important question.
It's all about the food that we eat also, which affects our cognitive behavior, and our body reacts to the outside world. That's why we have a nutrition also, right, Abdul?
Yes, yes, indeed. And inshallah, we will soon have only for women nutrition. We did have a presentation on that, but we'll have more based on in the coming days to know about the importance of nutrition that we have. Based on and there's another question. I think Brother Abdul Samad can answer this. Does black magic cause blockage in marriage?
Okay, a very important question. Yes, it does, because black magic has been designed in such a manner that the first thing that they want to affect is the husband and wife. So that is the first thing. I would request Hafsa Ahmed to kindly mute your mic. Okay. So the most important aspect would be that black magic has been designed that its first attack would be on the relation between husband and wife. So yes, it causes a blockage. It can cause a lot of effect. And that is what we have been told into the Quran, that they would try, that is their first attempt, to try to separate a husband and wife. Because as I told you, that their main mission is to destroy the foundation of human being. And the foundation of human being is from the husband and wife, because they build a community, they build a family and the community. And the better we are together in terms of family, I think we have some participants, their mic open. I would request all of them to mute their mic. Okay, so the most important aspect would be that yes, black magic has been designed to create rifts and to separate the husband and wife. I mean, it's not just to disturb the peace between husband and wife, but they go to that very extent that they would get separated. Remember, that is how they want to affect the human beings. So that is the purpose. So you can understand how many things they would actually destroy between husband and wife. It would be on the emotion aspect. It would be through waswas. It would be through dreams. It would be through anger. It would be through an anxiety. It would be through false understanding, misunderstandings. And all of these would accumulate to let that person be separated from his or her spouse.
I would add something here.
For that.
It's again a mind game.
You're muted, brother.
Hmm?
There are a few important questions. Brother Abdul Majid, are you able to?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Yes, please.
Just wanted to add, it's also it's because the jinn and shayateen will also create, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not into Ruqyah as much as you guys are. So your guys are the pro. So it's like if as sister said, that it blocks marriage. So can it also create waswas in the person who's coming to marry someone? Do they also create waswas in their mind, and maybe in some cases, as I have heard, that they will look ugly or something, and then they become upset, and even if she is beautiful or he is smart, does that happen also?
Indeed. We have come across, in fact, we are dealing with a lot of cases these days where actually, subhanAllah, it was quite astonishing to hear it, that 2 days before the marriage or the nikah taking place, one of the lady, her face completely changed as resembling to that of a monkey. Allah musta'an. And yes, it does happen, and this is how they target people. When if people do not have the knowledge of the black magic and the jinn effects, they would think that I saw my bride to be beautiful, but how come in reality when she's in front of me, she's something else? And they would move forward to nullify the marriage. Subhanallah. It's very, very important that does happen, and a lot of people that have come to the cases that are ongoing do have that problem. Subhanallah, and their face completely changes or darkens up. Although they are very practicing, but it darkens up for no reason. And these are few of the signs that they are afflicted with the black magic and the jinn affliction as well.
Yeah, and I would like to also add that sometimes it does happen that the women would see their husbands in a in a very frightening appearance, whereas the husband is very normal, and they don't understand why are they seeing it in this way. So this is actually called as the issue with the vision, because we know that the jinn and the shayateen, if you are afflicted with black magic, now subhanallah, that is what exactly happened at the time of Musa alayhi salam. The uh, uh, the the magicians, they were creating, and we know that that was the vision through that they were, you know, it was not in reality, but they were showing those visions, and it was huge, to the extent that even Musa alayhi salam, had that fear, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they don't fear. So when that level of visions is possible, so they would also create a vision where they would see each other in the most horrific uh, appearances. So that is also there where a lot of people experience, and that takes place because of the black magic.
Uh, we take the next question, inshallah. The question asked by the sister is, uh, the question is, she wants to get married, but she's getting blocked.
No, there's a
Received a
question about,
proposal, yeah, but not able to mentally say yes to get married. Subhanallah, mentally say yes to get married. I would give the answer to this question. In fact, there was recently. There are basically, I would say, two important things, two aspects that we need to look into. Number one, we need to diagnose if it is related to spiritual ailments, like is it because of ain, hasad, or black magic or jinn affliction. If that is yes, then that can have an effect on you getting married. And most probably, if that is diagnosed and that is not positive, means you're not spiritually afflicted, then we can deal with the other part, that there might be some traumas associated with it, and we can have a counseling session or a diagnosis of through the cognitive behavior therapy to see if there are any traumas or depression related to it, because few people have actually in the past came up with the traumas that they dealt with due to assaults on them, subhanallah, and that can create a trauma from any man getting close to you. So cognitive behavior therapy can help bismillah ta'ala. And of course, when we are talking about cognitive behavior therapy, it is along with Ruqyah to make it much more effective bismillah ta'ala. So we need to check on both of these aspects to make sure that that you are able to, if a proposal comes from a very good brother, and that it is beneficial for you to reach Jannah. That's what our aim is. A good proposal, practicing brother is very important as a partner of life. And so if something stops you, then you have to look into it. Bismillah ta'ala. Other question is very important question that sister is asking: what will people get from this? Why are they doing sihr and these things to others? Like, what is the purpose for them to separate spouses? I think Brother Abdul Samad can give the answer on this, please.
Well, what do they get? They are evil, that they want to do evil things. They wouldn't get anything. In fact, they would destroy themselves. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, that they will enter into the hellfire. Those whoever will go in, subhanAllah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that those whoever will go to a soothsayer or to the fortune teller, his prayers will not be accepted. Subhanallah. So what would a person get if he's getting involved into the black magic? They are actually destroying themselves, and they are destroying their own lives. More than that, they are destroying others. Perhaps a person will be able to treat himself or herself and be able to move along with on their life. But this person who has done it, what about them? So they are actually destroying their own lives. And subhanallah, the most important aspect is that they would think that they would feel satisfied by thinking that they have done something evil to others, by taking revenge on others, whereas that is 100% where they are actually destroying themselves. They are putting themselves into they are taking their destination to the hellfire. So they don't gain much. And this is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the truth will always prevail. But yes, the good people will have to go through it. And this is part of the test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept for the Muslim Ummah, that the problems will be there. We'll have to overcome those issues. We have to go through the struggles. And that is what we learn from the seerah of the prophets. That is what will make us feel stronger. And that if the prophets have gone through, then we will also have gone through. Now, the issue is that we as a Muslim Ummah are not ready to accept to go through those problems, to go through those difficult times. We are like, why is this happening to us? But we don't realize that the prophets have gone through, the righteous people have gone through, our companions, subhanAllah, they have gone through so much of pain in order to spread Islam, so much of pain to make this ilm to reach us that perhaps we have never experienced in our lifetime. So we all have to accept that this world we haven't entered into this world to feel good, to enjoy this world. No, we are going to enter, we will only be happy in the heavens where we came from, right? The Sahaba Ikram used to say, La aisha illa aisha al-akhirah. There's no enjoyment except the enjoyment in the hereafter. So we'll have to embrace those issues, and that makes us feel better and relaxed that this is part of life that we will go through. When the prophets have gone through, the righteous have gone through, the companions of the Prophet has gone through, and we have the seerah in front of us. If we read the seerah, we will feel lighter of what the Prophet ﷺ had gone through. Subhanallah. Okay. I would like to take another question, because Abdul Wahab brother has been missing. The question is how to overcome past traumas. Sister, again, these are two most important aspects that I would like to put forward. Traumas with respect to your spouse and traumas with respect to your past in your childhood. Traumas could be because of a lot of reasons. Traumas could be because of any incident where it was chaotic, where it was very bad for you to experience, and that would create trauma. Trauma, the most easiest way to understand about trauma is an event that you reflect upon again and again, and you don't want to reflect upon it. You don't want to remember. That is the simple to understand that is a traumatic event. But there are also a lot of traumas that are hidden and which can be understood upon diagnosis that we do through the CBT. The most important aspect is that if it is a trauma of your childhood, a lot of parents, they don't understand that the children can get trauma by the way that they deal with things. Suppose, for example, any child who is not good on particular aspect, the parents are making them do it, irrespective of the capability of the child. That would give trauma, and that would have that child, more broken and more problematic in their future life. You're not building them, you're destroying them. And a lot of ways it does happen that it happens in siblings as well, where one person would find himself or herself to be doing great, and their youngers once not doing great. So they would push them up, they would blame them, they would question them, they would try to control them. That is the greatest trauma that you are doing it. You're destroying that person. The best way to help them up is through encouragement, through helping them through that very process and having patience. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you a higher IQ or has given you a particular way to do things, and Allah has given everyone a different way. And if you have understood to do the things how you to be successful, and others do not have that aspect, and they are not getting they have still not overcome those process. You don't need to push them and break them. And that is the way how a person would get traumatized because of their siblings. It could be trauma because of the teachers or because of the parents. It could be from anywhere. So you need to understand, if that is the trauma, then CBT could be a very helpful tool in order to help you remove those traumas of the past. And the another aspect is of the marriage counseling, if that is a trauma because of the the relation between the husband and wife.
Next question. I would think this question is for Brother Abdul Majid. Our men don't want to accept that there is anything wrong. This is why this is a big problem. I've spoken to many sisters. They are all suffering because their husband believes that there's nothing wrong. It is only in the mind of women. Please throw light on this one.
The problem again comes to the same thing, that we are never taught about marriage. We think a woman is like a commodity or an object that she is there to serve you. When we know Islamically, she is not supposed to serve her in-laws. But in many, in our culture and stuff, they get married to young women so that they can be supportive to the parents. When Islamically, she doesn't have to. She is just there to be with her husband. And this has taken, a marriage has become a business transaction. It's like, if I give you something, you give something back. No, in marriage, it's about creating love. It's a human that you're dealing with. I have complaints a lot from many counseling sessions that the in-laws get involved. It creates chaos. I teach people that, see, the controlling behavior has increased in men, sometimes in women, okay, but mostly among men. But they should know, they should understand that a controlling behavior is pushing your spouse away. It's pushing her to a brink of destruction. It is pushing her to a point of, breaking down. And then what good is she to serve you? And then when the times, then you men come and complain that, oh, my wife has no physical relationship with me. How can you have a happy marriage, when you're pushing her too much? And you're, subhanallah, in some cases, it goes beyond that, controlling behavior, it becomes physical, and it's not what a man's supposed to do. The motive of marriage for a woman, if men are listening to me, remember, a woman marries a man for two reasons. First reason is this is fitra, okay? This is not something that she came up with. A man is supposed to protect. That is the reason why a woman marries a man, for protection. Because when she was a kid, when she was small, she had her father. Her father was the protector. Women need protectors. Now, if men start to control their wives and expect everything to be la la land, it doesn't happen that way. Women are heart. They are the heart of the house. We should treat them as a heart, not as objects. And that's why, in our society, the pre-counseling sessions are a big gap. We are never learn how to get married. No one teaches us rules how to get married. And women get into depression, men get into depression. See, I'm not blaming women, I'm not blaming men. It's how our society is working through. It's controlling behavior will never help anyone. If you want a smooth married life, see, you can't even control a kid these days. The kid, if you hit him, a kid would hit you back. But men still have this, and some women have this. men take it as controlling behavior, and women take it as what do you call a physical relationship. What a man wants, they refuse them, and that's a biological weapon that they use. So it's a war between two bodyguards. See, kids think father and mother as their bodyguard, but each bodyguard takes a gun at each other and points at each other. The life is ruined. So it's like controlling behavior should be removed from from our society. It takes time, but as I told you, we were never taught marriage, so it's hard. Once they take counseling and they really truly want to work on marriage, and shayateen and jinn take opportunity of this. That's why these days you have seen, na'uzubillah, I don't even want to go to TikTok or these places, because all they show is women, and then men decide women as those women which are photoshopped, which are that's not reality. Social media has spoiled, and plus social media has also taught women to stand up for themselves, that they can take the role of a man. No one can take anyone's role. If someone asks me, oh, you take a role of a woman one day, ask any man. Man can never give babies. They don't have that strength. They have the strength to lift up 100-kilo barbell, but they would never say, no, I will never take that responsibility. But a woman takes it because Allah created her as love. Even she has a handicap kid inside her belly, she would love it. So love each other. Love, to tell you that love is the only solution for any marriage. And between Allah also, it's like if you love Allah, Allah will love you 100 or million times more. So it's love will actually set you free.
Barakallah fikum, Jazakallah khair. A very important question that is here is it so easy for black magic to happen on anyone, as nowadays we see a lot of people affected with? This is a very important question, and I believe the main problem of why a lot of people are getting afflicted with black magic is we ourselves are responsible in a way, in a manner. Today, when Islamic practices or the taqwa of people is lesser and lesser and lesser, the more people get afflicted with it. The more practicing we become, the more conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more we are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with ibadah, the more society becomes pure and it becomes more secure for us all as a community. The problem today is the people are rushing towards these black magicians to affect based on what? Jealousy. Based on what? They want their wealth. Based on what? They want some land from these people. Based on their desires, these people are going to the black magicians. And because of that, this practice is ever increasing. If the society becomes Islamic, more with the consciousness and the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these people, these black magicians will fade away from the society that we live in. And this is in itself a responsibility for each and every Muslim on the face of the earth to work for Islam, to spread the important principles of Islam, so that we can ward off this evil of black magic from the society. And this is why today we are all afflicted. A lot of people are afflicted with black magic because the practice of Islam has gone down. The taqwa of people has gone down. We have to revive our society. And the more we are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and doing something for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Islam, inshallah, Allah will protect us. There's another question that I think is from Brother Abdul Majid. It's kind of a case study, a long question that the sister has asked. What if a husband and wife don't have trust on each other completely after many years of marriage because of some old past things happened? if one can't forget that and remembers, reminds in present how and what it affects the kids and environment, if one of them is having some psychological issues like anxiety, depression, and doubting spouse in some things, and the other can't deal with, and kids are getting affected because of their bad relationship, and the spouse is not ready to take complete treatment on and cognitive behavior for the psychological issues.
It's like if someone doesn't want to change, you can't change anyone, because we have only one mind and we are in control of our mind. We cannot control the husband, or we cannot control the wife, how she or he is. We don't control. As I told you, again, I would repeat myself, we have one mind which we are in control of, and it is ourself. Now, if your husband, this is my advice, so it's purely up to you to take it. My advice is, if some people don't want to change, you don't have to pursue that thought in your mind. Instead, you can get busy with other things in your life and create a new hobby or something. But I'm not telling you that you shouldn't try. I'm very sure that you, as sister, have tried everything and put everything on the table, you know, to convince your husband. But some people are stubborn. But marriage is all about giving love. It's unconditional love. It's about giving love. And if you see that your life, your until and unless it become a life-threatening issue where the husband is abusive and he throws things at you or becomes physical, that's the time where you should really think about the other step. But till then, things can improve. Remember this, things can improve when you change. I'm not blaming you. I'm not telling you anything that you are not doing this or this. It's you, it's your thought. Now you are pursuing this thought a lot in your mind. And it's giving shayateen and jinn a thing to play around with. And you become in depression. Your kids become in depression. They go in depression. Once you're going in depression, it's like a bonfire. You cannot take it out for quite some time, unless and until you go through a treatment. Okay, scientifically and ruhani, you should get treatment, then only you will come out of that trauma. But never go and pursue on the same thing and disturb your mind. Start diverting your mind. Your marriage is there. You don't have to think it as if it's God or it's the only thing in your life. Divert your mind. Start doing something. Help the community. To tell you the truth, they are very less. I don't know any Rafi that is online. I don't know any, this marriage counselor who will talk about scientifically and mind control and every aspect of life. Believe me when I say this, because I suffered and I searched the entire internet, and we can say that there's no one. If there is, I would love to meet him. Really, I would love to meet him. I learned from psychologists which are Christians, and they have all the, mashallah, all the techniques laid down. Every path is laid down, it's organized. But in our community, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. It's only sulah. And there is control, where the husband is asked to control the house, or you're the head of the family, and you have control over everything. No, you don't control everything or anything. The only thing that you control is yourself. So, sister, my advice is control your mind. Don't pursue that issue. Yes, you can talk about it to your husband and discuss it, in a good fashion, but don't pursue that thought. Divert yourself, divert your mind to another things. There are a lot of things that the ummah needs, with help with. Do some community service, do something good, teach your kids something positive. Crying on the problem has no solution at all, really. I'm not telling you to give up It takes time. Everything takes time. But be patient, pursue, but don't make it like, oh, this is something that my wife or my husband is everything to me. No, there are a lot of things in your life.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Brother Abdul Mujib. Very important points, because we are too much, sometimes not, it's just not generality, but sometimes we are too much focused on the problems rather than the solution. So, subhanallah, just as we had discussed here, it's very important that we look into the aspects, the solutions, and this is why we have built up Ruqyah healing to provide you with the solutions, bismillah ta'ala, with Ruqyah therapy, marriage counseling, cognitive behavior therapy, and we are actually, bismillah ta'ala, will be building more, inshallah, to make sure that we have a complete solution under the roof of Ruqyah healing for the Ummah, bi'iznillah ta'ala. As a community, we build up and we build a strong community, inshallah. And I would just like to remind us, every one of you, if you want to contact us and you want to know more details, the link is provided in the chat box, where we have our website is www.ruqyahealing.co. In a short form, you can also just type in twinraqi.com and you will get the link, get the website where you can book and contact us as a free consultation, inshallah. Or you can also WhatsApp us on our Indian contact number, which is provided in the chat box. And I would just repeat, 950-578-1215. And I really believe that we are out of time, but I think this is very, very important question that one of the sister has asked, and we'll take this as a last question. And surely we will continue these kind of discussions for our community as an open platform for discussion and forums and important information here, so that it helps us all to build a strong community. The question from the sister is, and Abdul Samad, I believe this will be to be answered from your side, inshallah. And just before the brother Abdul Samad gives the answer to this question, please do share your feedbacks. Inshallah, you can write to us and you can WhatsApp us. How did you feel about this very forum that we are bringing it for the community to understand better, bi'iznillah ta'ala? So, yes, Brother Abdul Samad, the question is it true that if one person is affected with sihr, it affects the whole house? The members of whole house start acting against the victim affected with black magic. Please enlighten more on this subject. Jazakallah khairan.
Okay. This is often being asked by a lot of people, that if that would have an impact on the complete family. Yes, there are circumstances where the black magic can have an impact on the complete family based upon the kind of magic being done. There are a lot of instances where it doesn't happen, and to a lot of families it does happen. We have also found it really depends on the kind of black magic that has been done. What has been, why is it being done? Has it been done to affect the complete family? Has it been done to create enmity between the family members? Has it been done so that the person, wherever he goes or she goes, that the people will look in a very different manner or have an enmity for that very person? Then yes, then that is quite possible, because the black magic does have an effect on a person in a very negative manner. So the answer is yes, that's completely possible, depending upon the kind of black magic being done on that very person. And that's the reason why that there are a lot of people who are suffering in these days, depending upon the way that is being, because subhanallah, the strangest of things is that there are people who are being creative in order to destroy the people's life. And subhanallah, if we are being surprised to look at this very aspect, being astonished, then we also have to look at the aspect of our food. how much it has been done in order for the human beings to have food which are destroying us, and how creative they have been done to market those foods so that it would destroy the human beings. So it's nothing to be surprised about. They are very creative. We think that the shayateen, the jinn and the shayateen working against us are not creative. They are subjective. No, they are very creative to destroy us. They are very intelligent to destroy us. So we need to understand that, yes, that black magic can have negative aspect and impact on the complete family. That's really possible.
Barakallah feekum, Jazakallah khairan for. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us shifa from all kinds of ailments, spiritually and health-wise and mentally as well. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept the efforts that we are putting here, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us about a very strong community to ward off all kinds of evil from the society. And with this, we would like to end this session, inshallah. And I would just like to remind you all, anyone who wants to contact us, the number is provided in the chat box. They can check the number. And a very simple way to approach our website is twinraqi.com. And you can contact us through our website, bi'iznillahi ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us all from all kinds of evil. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.